To the other shore. So, dear friends, good morning. We hope that for those of us who are joining also in the French time zone, you had a very good night's sleep and that you could join the exercise and the sitting with us this morning. In Plum Village today in France is very sunny. After many days of rain, the sky has, the clouds all have disappeared and the sun is shining. And we hope that during the retreat, if some of us also have some rain in our heart, it can also be replaced by the sunshine. So this morning, our second teaching will be offered by Sister Nghiem, also known as Sister Power, because she has a lot of energy. Sister Nghiem has been ordained in the same family as Sister True Dedication from last night. They became nuns on the same day, and they have been together for many years on this path. Sister Nghiem really enjoys to engage Buddhism into the world as Sister True Dedication. She also puts a lot of time and energy into sharing the practice with the young people and into finding new ways to protect Mother Earth. It's thanks to her that in Plum Village we can enjoy local and organic food for every meal. And she's been very inventive. A few years ago, she has organized the first biking retreat. So she toured around Brittany in France all by bike, going from house to house biking and offering the practice so that she didn't need to use any energy from the earth. So with the next sound of the small bell, we will stand up and bow in respect and gratitude for Sister Nghiem, who is offering the talk this morning. Thank you.
So good morning again. I'm taking some time to look at you at the screen in front of me, and also to look at my sisters and friends that are here in the hall. Thank you very much for joining us for the retreat. It's always an opportunity for us to create joy and enthusiasm to be able to connect with all of you all around the world. We have about, I think, 45 countries right now that are joining this retreat. So it's really miraculous. And this is perhaps one of the benefits that we can have from this pandemic, from the COVID. So there's not only negative things, but also we can create things out of the situation. Just before the talk, we have heard the sisters chanting the new version of the Heart Sutra, which has now the title, The Insight That Brings Us to the Other Shore. And if you pay attention to this wonderful sutra that our teacher, Tai, has revised and make it very concrete for us to understand it better, you will see that everything is in that sutra, in that chanting. The insight that brings us to the other shore. I can already hear our teacher saying to us, but the other shore is already there for you. I can see some of you smiling. So you know what I'm talking about. the question is, are we here for the other shore? Another way to put it is, life is available for us right now, but are we available for life? As human beings, our tendency is to be lost in our mind, in our projects, in our thinking, in the future or the past. And we lose the opportunity at every moment to touch life deep within. Yesterday, Sister True Dedication, Sister Nghiem, already gave us some guidance that some of us already know, to come back to our breath, to the body, to the feelings, the sensation in the body, to feel alive. So we bring back our mind to the body, which is a kind of a revolution, I think, in our society, in the especially modern society, industrial society. Until now is a little bit changing, but we have underestimated the sacredness of the body. We have pushed it away. And now we are invited to start with the body, to come back again and again and again to the sensation of the body in the body. We also have to be skillful in the practice, because maybe for some of us, the body is not a place that it's easy to come back. So whatever we are sharing in the practice, about the practice, take whatever is relevant for you. Okay? And maybe one day things will change in you, and perhaps you can also choose to try another practice that for a while you have put it on side. For Christmas, one of my sisters offered me a candle, which is here. And it's a special candle because it's written on it, everything is possible. And I just discovered it this morning because it was wrapped. So I took it out this morning. And then I saw that, I'm like, oh, I have to bring it with me. Just to give me some encouragement that it's possible for me to sit here and to share my joy about the Dharma. Everything is possible. This is a very simple sentence, but maybe we can apply it into our daily life. It's possible for us to stop our thinking mind and to come back to the present moment. To come back to our breath, to our steps. to touch peace, stillness, trust, love, joy. Everything is available in us. But of course, our tendency is to look outside. What are we looking for? We are looking for many things. But perhaps one of the main core element will be to look for comfort, emotional comfort, material comfort, and also our teacher add spiritual comfort. We like the room to be not too cold, not too hot. When you are sitting and then someone is coughing, it's like annoying. It disturbs your comfort zone. So I would like to perhaps invite you during this retreat to write down what is your comfort zone, and to really be honest with you. You know, it's just for yourself. Nobody will look at it. Just to recognize, where do I find peace? Where do I feel at ease? Where there is I feel secure? So to identify your comfort zones. So that's the first step. And the second step would be to, with a lot of kindness and peace inside of you, to remember that everything is impermanent, and that all the conditions that create your comfort zone may one day disappear. And in that moment, how would you feel? Lost. All my foundation, all my castle, you know, the castle with the cards is, you just take one card and the whole castle collapse. So the practice, the journey that we are taking is to create inside of us a kind of a sustainable foundation. So whatever happens outside and inside, we can still find the route, the path to touch peace, calm, trust, joy at every moment. To be happy is an art, Thai would say. To be happy, it's an art. And there are two aspects in the practice, is to be able to generate, cultivate all these beautiful aspects of love, compassion, trust, joy, peace. And the other aspect is to know how to suffer. So Thai would say, when you know how to suffer, you suffer less. Thai doesn't say, if you know how to suffer, suffering will disappear. Okay. So this is the first noble truth of the teaching of the Buddha. Suffering is part of life. And we have to accept that suffering is part of life. If we cannot accept that reality, we are running away from life. And that's the beauty also of life. We can enjoy the sunrise and the sunset. If the sun would always be, up there, we wouldn't have sunrise, sunset. We wouldn't have the nights with the stars and the moon. So because there is suffering, it's an opportunity for us when we can touch joy, peace. It's because we have experienced suffering. Another image that we often use in Plum Village is the image of the lotus, a beautiful lotus flower that is blooming in June, July, here in France, in Plum Village. But in the midst of autumn, all the sisters go to the pond and they mud until here to clean the pond with a lot of joy. There is a lot of mud. And only the lotus can grow because there is mud. So the heart of happiness and suffering is the same as for the lotus and the mud. When we know and learn how to recognize, embrace, be patient with our suffering, with the suffering of the one we love, with the suffering of the world. When we learn how to do that, it's the condition for the lotus of love, compassion, peace to grow inside of us and not outside. One of the core practice we have in Plum Village is the walking meditation. Sometimes when we talk about meditation, most of us, we think of sitting meditation, sitting on a cushion, closing our eyes, closing all the doors and windows, like yesterday evening, our sister shared. We close all the doors, windows, and we come back and we, establish ourselves in our body, in our breath, and we go deep into samadhi, concentration, and enlightenment. But then when we sit down and it's like the mind is going crazy and is go to the past, to the future, to the body. I'm pain, I have pain, I don't know what to do. Still 10 minutes to go. So walking meditation is another door that we can explore. And I know many of us can really touch peace, calm, stillness while walking. We walk mindfully. That means we are aware of each step that we are making. And maybe now I would like to invite you at home to stand up with me. And we're going to practice walking meditation together. And perhaps in the hall, make sure that you are not in front of the camera. So please, it's just going to take few moments. It's just for all of us to have this experience together. And before COVID, when we had retreat, that's also what we did in the past, in this hall, when we have our first orientation, or first talk, then we invite people to have a glimpse of slow walking meditation. So slow walking meditation, as you will see, you don't need a lot of space. You are just at home, and a few square meters is enough for you to touch peace, to relax your body. So with one step, we do an in-breath. And another step, the out-breath. In, a step. Out, another step. And you can really relax your body. In, one step. Out. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to think of anything. It's just a moment to feel alive, to relax the body and the mind, to create a moment of joy, of peace. In, one step. Out, one step. Thank you very much. So it didn't take long, and I hope some of you can already have a different kind of energy inside of you. So I will invite all my sisters in the hall to sit back down slowly. Sometimes when we think of spiritual path, or when we think of all the things that we need to transform, all the suffering we need to transform, all the things that needs to be done in the world to have a better world, we can feel overwhelmed. So it's very, very, very important for us to find skillful means. That means to be creative in your own environment, for you to touch peace, joy, love, openness in the heart and in the mind. So what we have just done together, slow walking meditation, you can do it every day if you want. Just few moments, few minutes. You don't need to go anywhere. You can just do it, where you are. You can do it in the corridor of your office, at home, outside, in a busy city where everyone is running, rushing. You can choose. Okay, I can see myself running and rushing. I'm not present. Let's take a moment just to relax, just to enjoy being alive, and just take few steps like this. People may look at you, and it's okay. It's okay. Because you are taking care of yourself. And when we take care of ourselves, we know we are taking care of others. So whatever we are generating will affect others. If it's peace, joy, love, it's wonderful. Even if we look a little bit strange, with robes like this, or walking very slow. But sometimes our suffering is too much. And then anger is there, worries, anxiety, fear, despair. I'm sure I don't need to make the whole list, because you know what I'm talking about. So just as the same as identifying your comfort zone, the first thing we also need to do is to be able to recognize, to name our sufferings. Okay, right now, this is anger coming up. This is jealousy. This is sadness, fear. What is it that is present? And thanks to impermanence, we know it's going to pass. It's not going to stay here forever. But if we continue to nourish it, it's going to stay here. Because nothing can survive without food, including our anger, fear, sadness, our joy, love, hope, peace. So, the energy of mindfulness allows us to be aware, to become aware of what is present in us. Will give us the power to choose. It doesn't mean we will succeed right away, but at least we become more aware and we can choose. Do I want to continue to water that seed of anger, despair, fear? Can I just try to embrace these feelings, these emotions, strong emotion, with the energy of kindness, of acceptance, patience. And this is love. So while we take care of suffering, we generate love for ourselves. We generate peace for ourselves at the same time as we take care of our suffering. Us, human beings, are very complex being. But to simplify for today, we can look into sorry for my circle. Relax. I often sing the song of Queen. I don't know if you under pressure. I like music, so okay. Okay, the third one. Let's go. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So we are made of a body, feelings, and of course this one, the mind. Like I say at the beginning, our modern world, until recently, have pushed away the body. But we know now clearly with science, so it must be real, that these three elements interact with each other. And that's why when we take care of the body, we also take care of our feelings and mind. So don't underestimate the practice of just go back to the breath, to the steps. Perhaps that's enough. Can you imagine if that's enough? But because our mind is here, then our mind is telling us, oh, it's not possible. There's, must be something greater than just go back to the breath. But for those who have experienced transformation and healing, we know that's this trick of just go back to the breath, just relax, just feel whatever is there, even if it's unpleasant. This is how you build resilience. emotional resilience. And this is what we are going to the world to need in these coming years. We know these coming years will not be easy. And that's why we need a strong foundation for us to have a place to come back. Perhaps we can have a sound of the bell so I can relax. I'm looking at the time because I have many things to share, so perhaps I will have to choose. So let's stay in the realms of feelings. So there are three kinds of feelings. The one that we usually like, the pleasant one. The one that we don't like. And the one unpleasant. And the one that we ignore, the neutral one. Pleasant. Right now, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and to check if you have any toothache. No? No toothache. Woo! Wonderful! So, from a neutral feeling of a non-toothache, we can realize that's great. We can make it a pleasant feeling. So, this is a very simple example just to show how simple it is to be able to generate a pleasant feeling, whether it's peace, joy, just by recognizing all the condition of happiness we already have. That's one of Thai's favorite practice. Right now, this is a happy moment. And it's a training of the mind and of the body, because we know it's deeply connected. So whatever is happening inside of us, whether it's the mind or the body will memorize it. And the more we become aware, conscious, the more our pleasant experience of a non-toothache will water the seed in us of joy, of happiness. Pleasant feeling and unpleasant feeling. The feeling that we like to experience and the feeling that we avoid. And this is our natural tendency to avoid suffering and to look for something that will give us an impression of well-being. Whether it is opening the fridge and taking a piece of cake when we are sad, or maybe playing music, dancing. So this tendency of avoiding, pushing away, or grasping for something that is giving us a pleasant feeling is there. It's our habit energy. It's a survival habit of us animal to survive. We avoid the danger, right? So what I'm trying to say is like there's nothing about it's wrong, you know, or it's good, bad. So it's not about that, but it's for us to recognize, to be aware of our habit energies that we all have. And one of the roots, so we have in Buddhism, we have what we call the 3 roots of suffering. The first one, there are many ways to say it, but desires, anger or hatred, illusion or ignorance, so we can look into our desires, all the different kind of forms that it can take. And sometimes it can take the form of expecting someone to be like that or like this. It can be, I need something more, or I need something less. Suffering is also in Buddhism dukkha. I think there is 2K, I'm not sure. Which is a feeling of you are not satisfied, you are not content. There's something lacking, right? And that's why you are looking for something. Or you're not happy. There is something in you that doesn't allow you to just be alive. The beauty of the path of mindfulness is for us to become more and more aware of what is happening. That means we become more and more aware of all what is coming in. Because this is the food for our consciousness. This is the food for our heart and for our mind. So we are in contact with the world. We don't want to escape the world and go up there in a mountain, where we live solo. This is not the path of being a bodhisattva. So our tradition, we are like engaged Buddhism. We want to stay in the world, engage, and to offer the best we can. So we are in contact with the world. And whatever we see, the five senses, whatever we see, we hear, we smell, we taste, we touch, will provoke, will have a consequence, okay, in our behaviors. And this is something that happens all the time. So you have a contact with, you just hear someone saying something, and very quickly there is a reaction. Whether it is, oh yes, I like it, you're right. Or is like, what? What did you say? And you become very angry, okay? And in between, so I'm not a psychologist, so it's a very schematic, simple way, okay? So it's just for us to, to have a better understanding of why am I reacting like that? So this is a question we can ask ourselves. Why am I reacting like this? Always and always the same trigger. A contact will probably create a feeling. If it's a pleasant feeling, then our mind will say, yes, good. And then maybe our reaction will be to try to keep that feeling the longest we can. Or if it's an unpleasant feeling, then our reaction will be to push it away. So we can be in an automatic pilot. Like we have no awareness of what is happening, or we are just overwhelmed and just carried away by this thread of behaviors. Or with mindfulness and a little bit, at least, concentration. That means you are able to stay focused with the object of your mindfulness, of your awareness. Then your response is maybe not the same. And so all of this is to say that we need an appropriate attention. This is the fun part. Appropriate. Attention. And this appropriate attention can interfere with the automatic pilot mode. Okay? So we become more aware of, I have just heard something. And I know it's going to create a feeling. And I know I'm going to react. Okay? So if your attention, your mindfulness, your awareness is here, it will allow you not to react the way you reacted before, and to create a new habits, to create a new, what we call also new neural pathway. And we know now with the science that the brain is flexible, malleable. So it's really this. So to be present, to have the capacity of being aware of what is happening, whether it is here with the contact. You know, you enter, that's often an image I take, you enter a big, in US I think you say mall, like, you know, you have a lot of shops, like a huge place with a lot of shops. And you can see at all the entrance, there is a bakery, at least in France. So you enter to, you know, buy, I don't know, shoes, and you enter and you, smell, and it's like, you see? So even, you know, the smell, and then, feeling, smells good. Oh yes, a croissant, a French croissant. Let's buy a French croissant. So again, this is a simple example, but it happens all the time. That was a joyful example. But, you know, I let you experience in your own life whether it can be a joyful experience. Next time you go to, you know, the town and you pass a bakery or something. Or perhaps it can be taking care of suffering, taking care of a feeling of anger, sadness, and you don't need to react. You can have another response to the situation. So to go with the teaching of appropriate attention, we can also explore together the 4 kinds of nutriment. We should know what is beneficial for us in terms of body, feelings, and mind. Sometimes we think in cycle over and over and over the same things that are really not beneficial. And we drown. So nothing can survive without food. So your despair, your fear, your sadness, what is it that is feeding it? So we have, the first one is edible food. We know that to eat a lot of sugar, a lot of processed industrial food, perhaps also dairy product. We are not meant to drink milk from cows. You know, we are not cows. Sorry for the farmers. But to really look deeply into what do we eat in terms of edible food. And can we experience the joy of going into a shop to buy food, to look, to be in an automatic pilot, to take whatever we usually take, and to stop and say, is it really something that is good for my health? Is it? And then if you are able to leave it on the shelf, woo, liberation. You really experience something that, I can let go for this time. Maybe next time is a different experience. But to remember that you were able not to buy this food that you know is not really good for yourself. Same for alcohol, for example. Okay. So the sense impression, sensory impression. So we already see that it's very important also to not feed, do not feed your despair, your worries, your anger with all the news. Don't watch the news. You don't need to have a 27, we have like this channel now with news all the time. Perhaps you can look for positive news. So the continuous flow of information is on one side something wonderful because we can be in touch with what is happening in the world at any time. But we have to consume it with moderation and to really see what is it doing to ourselves. I'm pretty sure if many of us who experience fear, anxiety, or sometimes despair, when thinking about the future, it's also mainly because we are reading, watching, hearing conversation that are feeding the fear and anxiety. But if we have conversation with people where we can generate a feeling of everything is possible, to touch the creativity that we have, and that is also part of life. I think I will run out of time. Volition. What is your deepest desire? We are coming to the end of the year. What is your deepest desire for the year to come? What is it? And it doesn't have to be something big. If your deepest desire is to be able to learn how to make each step with peace and joy, what a gift. This is a real gift. And the last kind of food is our individual consciousness. So what are we feeding ourselves in the mind, and that will be stored in our deeper layer of consciousness, and also the collective consciousness. So the same is interacting. So the individual consciousness feed the collective, and the collective feed the individual. And we know that when we live in community or in families. So my joy, my peace is also your joy and your peace. My joy, my peace is the peace of my children, of my partner, of my parents. I will look at the time. Okay. So we will hear a sound of the bell, and I will share a little bit more, and then we will end. So the last thing I would like to share today is something very dear to me and important. So that's why I want to share with you. I don't know how to to phrase it because it's quite. It could be one Dharma talk, so, and I have just a few minutes, but I think it's quite important. So I think I haven't shared about letting go, and to be able to come back to the present moment, to really experience being alive, to really feel in the body a kind of, the vibration, the frequency in the body change. Is like during the retreat, we offer you, before the sitting meditation, we offer you some exercise like Tai Chi, Qigong, stick exercise, and perhaps some of you do other kind of exercise like yoga, or even, jogging or climbing a mountain. You feel alive. And you are not thinking, right? When you do your yoga or your Tai Chi or your Qigong, or you climb the mountain, or you run, or you play tennis or basketball, you are not thinking. You are just alive. So it is possible for us to let go of our desire, of our anger, of our worries, of our thinking mind. A thinking mind that is, most of the time, a dualistic thinking mind, where there is you and me. Where there is us and others. Where there is the same, different. Where there is coming, going, and the list can go on and on. So you can also make your own list to see how you think. When we come back to the present moment, all of this vanished, disappear. We just surrender. Surrender to life. Surrender to the present moment. And the reason why we can surrender is because there is trust in the power of life that is within us and outside, around us. The power of letting go. The power of acceptance. To accept ourselves as we are. We are not perfect, and it's okay. To accept others as they are. They are not perfect, and it's okay. It's okay because there is kindness in our heart and in our mind. So whatever you do, whatever you think, remember these three pillars, these three elements. Letting go, that means non-attachment, non-grasping, letting go of the ideas of you and me, before, after, of it's good, it's not good, we should, we shouldn't. Letting go, let go. Just relax and be present. Yeah. Okay, here's too low, so I'm gonna... And the last is, when we come back to the present moment, there is, like Sister Nghiem said yesterday, there is stillness, peace. And I am adding trust. We come back to the present moment. There is a stillness. We are here, present. And it helps us to deal with the tensions of wanting, not wanting, of you, me, of future, past, regrets. This is part of our life, we know. And when we are able to come back to the stillness, the present moment, and to touch deep inside the source, the roots of the teachings of impermanence, interbeing, emptiness, all these beautiful, rich teachings, we feel alive and there is vitality in us. As you can see, I'm very... There is vitality in us and there is joy, even though there is like, dislike, okay? And this source that we can touch, go deep when we dwell in the present moment, thanks to our mindfulness and concentration, allow us to be creative. Creative to the response to the situation. And sometimes the first response is not to do anything and not to say anything. until this flow, like this, this flow of aliveness and wisdom open the door for us to know what to say, what to do. And we don't need to wait to experience an unpleasant feeling or to have strong emotion to activate this present moment. We should train ourselves to do that every day. And that's what we are inviting you to do. Listening to the bell, I breathe in, I come back to the present moment. I touch impermanence. My feelings come and go. This morning I had a song, some of you may know, sitting at the dock of the bay, watching my feelings roll away. Otis Redding? So you see, we can be very joyful with the practice. It doesn't have to be serious. And one element of joy is to be playful, to laugh, not to be too serious about ourselves. There is already enough, drama in the world. So we can play with the waves of life. We learn how to surf, okay? Up and down. We know that one, huh? Up and down. Suffering, happiness, joy, sadness, okay? But we learn how to enjoy riding the waves. And then we remember that we are water. We are waves, but we are also water. When our mind is still, calm, peaceful, there is a quote, I think, by Rumi, say that the whole universe surrender to us. We can really feel being a part of the universe. And so we know, we are just a spark of dust. And when we remember that, then all our drama of being a human being is very small. So let's enjoy life, because we are still alive. So how can we every day laugh? What can make us feel alive? Maybe it's music, maybe it's sports, maybe it's dancing, art, maybe it's talking on the phone with someone. But be careful what you water, the kind of conversation you have with your friends, with your family. Okay, I think I can go on, but I believe it's time for me to stop. Oh, but maybe one last thing is I wanted to share with you a song, a very small song. So. Okay. Thank you for staying with us all the way until the end. I know it's long, so the song is very short. I I step into the flow and then I let it go. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I step into the flow and then I let it go. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I open my mind, my heart and my soul.
So, dear friends, first of all, thank you to Sister Nghiem for her inspiring teaching. Um, After this, we will have a chance to practice walking meditation by ourselves. So we really encourage you to go out, take a moment out of the screen and go walk around or even in your flat, even if it's just 15 or 20 minutes. And for one Dharma sharing family only, for the equanimity family who includes the people in Asia, you will have Dharma sharing right after this talk at 12 in less than 1 hour to meet your time. And then at 2 p.m. in Paris time, we will have a total relaxation live. So it will be a chance to touch the preciousness of our body like we heard about this morning. So please come a little bit early and find a place where you can lie down comfortably. And if you need to bring a blanket or a cushion, a pillow, anything that can make you feel comfortable for around 45 minutes of lying down practice. Then for those of us who registered for the Dharma sharing family, we will meet at 3:30 p.m. in Paris time. And right after this talk, we will send a link to everyone again with the an email to everyone again with the Zoom link for your Dharma sharing family. So please log in into your email and you will have the link that you can just click into to go to Dharma sharing. And we will have a tea hangout, which is optional at 6:30 Paris time. So there will be some sisters eating with you in silence, as well as a few breakout rooms with affinity sharings about monastic life or cultivating joy. So you can also log into your retreat platform if you want to join the tea hangout. And of course, if you're in a country when you don't have dinner at this time, So it's okay because you can still hang out and enjoy the presence of the friends and the sisters that will be there. And we will have again sitting meditation at 8 p.m. tonight, followed by sutra reading. And at 9 p.m. we will have the broadcast of the Big Bell. And one more time, at 9 p.m., so at the same time for the friends that are in America, you will have Dharma sharing at 9 p.m. French time to suit your time in your country. So this is only for the Dharma sharings families letting go, peace and solidity from America. But please don't try to remember everything that I said. It's all on your retreat platform. You can forget everything. Let go, go out and join the sunshine and the birds and rejoice in the present moment. We know that you're there and we're very happy. Thank you. And with the next sound of the bell, we will stand up and bow in gratitude for Sister Nghiem for her talk this morning. Thank you.